Life has a funny way of teaching us lessons when we least expect it. Sometimes, we believe we know how our future will turn out, but destiny has other plans. If someone had told me years ago that I would be married to the love of my life, a man I once believed to be a homeless beggar, I would have laughed. But now, sitting here today, I can tell you that love, true love, is never about wealth, status, or appearances. It's about the heart. This is my story, and I hope it changes the way you see the world, the way you treat people, and most importantly, the way you define love. I was just a struggling university student, juggling classes and multiple part-time jobs just to survive. My parents were hardworking, but we were never rich. My scholarship covered my tuition, but my daily expenses? That was all on me. There were nights I went to bed hungry, times I cried myself to sleep, wondering if life would ever get better. But despite all that, I had one thing my mother always taught me: kindness. No matter how little you have, my daughter, always have enough to give, she used to say. Every day on my way to class, I passed by the same man. He sat at the same spot, right outside my university gate. His clothes were old and torn, his beard unkempt, and his eyes. There was something about his eyes. They weren't empty like most people assumed. They held depth, a quiet sadness, and something else I couldn't quite explain. "Miss, I'm sorry to bother you," he says. "Could you spare some change for food?" I didn't have extra money, but I had my lunch. And in that moment, I made a decision that would change my life forever. The beggar takes the sandwich, his hands trembling slightly, as if he isn't used to kindness. Smiling softly. "Thank you. You have no idea how much this means to me." Montage of me giving him food every day, sometimes even my last meal. At first, I helped him because I felt bad, but over time, something changed. We started talking. I learned his name, Daniel. I learned that he used to be an engineer before life happened, and he lost everything. But what surprised me most was how smart and kind he was. Our small talks became longer conversations, and before I knew it, I started looking forward to seeing him. They say love finds you when you least expect it. I don't know when it happened, but suddenly I wasn't just helping Daniel. I cared about him. "Why are you so kind to me?" he asked. With shrugging, smiling shyly, I replied, "It's because the world needs more kindness." But deep down, I was scared. What was I doing? Falling for a beggar? I tried to ignore my feelings, but love doesn't follow logic. Whispering, "Daniel, I don't care about anything else. I care about you." Daniel's hands tighten into fists, his face unreadable. After a long silence, he shakes his head. Daniel, feeling broken, replied, "You deserve more than a man like me." Daniel walked away, leaving young me standing there, heartbroken. That night, I cried myself to sleep. I thought I had lost him forever. 1 week later, I received a call from an unknown number. "Miss, this is about Daniel. Please come to the Hilton Hotel." I rushed into the grand lobby, confused and anxious. I stop in shock as I see Daniel, but he's clean-shaven, wearing an expensive suit. My heart stopped. He wasn't just a beggar. He was a billionaire. Daniel, softly, speaking, said, "I was searching for someone who would love me for who I am, not what I have. And you gave me love when I had nothing." I break down in tears, overwhelmed. After Daniel's revelation, I stand frozen in the luxurious hotel suite, tears running down my face. I feel overwhelmed, hurt, and confused. "Why, Daniel? Why did you let me believe you were homeless? Why?" Softly, guilt-ridden Daniel replied, "It because I needed to know if you loved me for me. And you did." Scene. He reaches for my hands, but I pull away, too overwhelmed. I walk out, needing time to think. I thought about all the times I sacrificed my own meals for him. I remembered how I defended him when people called him filthy or useless. And now to find out he had everything, I wasn't sure whether to be angry or grateful. I sat at a cafe with my best friends, still shaken. My friends, Sarah and Linda, leaned forward, their faces full of disbelief. Sarah, laughing, Wait, you're telling me your beggar boyfriend is actually a billionaire? Are you hearing yourself? Linda, mocking tone, I told you, girl, you were losing it. We all thought you were insane when you kept giving him food. Now you're telling me he has money? Oh, please, don't be naive. He probably borrowed a suit. Me staring at them, realizing how shallow they were, quietly but firmly replied, You both laughed at me when I cared for him. You mocked me. Now that he's rich, you suddenly think I'm the one being foolish. Sarah, with rolling eyes, says, Come on, babe. We were just looking out for you. I mean, let's be real. If we knew he was rich, we would have... She stops herself, eyes widening, realizing she's exposed her true thoughts. That was it. That was the moment I knew who my real friends were. They never cared about kindness, love, or loyalty. They only cared about status and money. Me stood up, shaking my head. Then I said to them, You laughed at me for being kind to a man with nothing. Now you're regretting it because that man turned out to have everything. Goodbye, ladies. My mother and father sit in our small living room, staring at me in horror after I confess my feelings for a beggar. My mother wipes her forehead. My father shakes his head in disbelief. Mom, while angry and also disappointed, exclaimed, A beggar, Deborah? After all the sacrifices we made for you? You're throwing your life away on a man who sleeps on the street? Dad, sternly, No, absolutely not. You will not shame this family. Do you hear me? I started crying, trying to explain, but they refused to listen. I storm out, devastated. 1 week later, after Daniel's reveal, he insists on meeting my parents. He arrives at our small home, but this time, not as a beggar, but as the powerful, well-dressed billionaire he truly is. My mother answers the door, her mouth dropping open in shock. My father steps out, confused. Mom, stammering, eyes wide. Wait, aren't you? Dad, shocked, staring at Daniel's expensive suit and the luxury car behind him. You're not a beggar? Daniel smiles politely, bowing slightly in respect. Daniel, warmly. I was never just a beggar, sir. I was a man searching for real love. And your daughter, she gave me that. Silence. My mother nearly faints. My father rubs his eyes like he's dreaming. My parents staring awkwardly, serving Daniel tea, completely dumbfounded. My mother now beaming, overly kind. Mom. Well, Deborah always had an eye for good men. I knew there was something special about you. I watched them, half amused, half frustrated. But I knew, deep down, they were just human. They had judged too quickly, like everyone else. Fast forward to our wedding day. My parents, now fully supportive, sit proudly in the front row. My former friends watch from the back, their faces full of regret. The same man they mocked, the same man they called worthless, is now the most powerful man in the room. As Daniel takes my hands at the altar, his voice is full of emotion. Daniel, thank you for loving me when I had nothing. I smile, eyes filled with happy tears. You never had nothing, Daniel. You always had a heart richer than gold. The priest pronounces us husband and wife. The crowd erupts in applause. Back to present-day me, sitting in my cozy living room, now married to the love of my life. Life is unpredictable. Sometimes, the poorest man you ignore today could be the richest blessing in your future. The kindness you show a stranger today might come back to change your life forever. My advice? Never judge people by their current circumstances. Wealth is temporary, but kindness lasts forever. Love sees beyond status. Be kind always. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe for more.